Hey there guys, and welcome to my DVD collection Redux, Part 5. This will be the last part with DVDs that I have already watched. So we'll go ahead and get started here. First up we have another really good movie, that being Rain Man. It's kind of in the same vein as Forrest Gump. Basically a guy discovers he has a brother who's he's kind of slow, mentally handicapped, but yeah, it's that whole relationship and it's pretty freaking awesome. Then we go on to another wrestling DVD. This is Raw 100, the top 100 moments in Raw history, and it's just a bunch of Raw moments from Monday Night Raw, but also included in this DVD set is the entire 1000th episode, which is awesome. So that's pretty awesome. Then we go on to another anime. This is Real About High School. It's kind of a fan servicey anime, but it's a lot more fighting orientated than Ikitosen. I'll go ahead and show you all the volumes. Here's Volume 1, Volume 2, Volume 3, and Volume 4. This anime is alright. I haven't seen it in a while, but I remember it being pretty good, plus I really like all the voices. And the ending and a lot of plot gets kind of weird, but it's still a pretty good anime, and I'd suggest checking it out if you're into that kind of stuff. Then we go on to Resident Evil Degeneration, which is the first Resident Evil movie that was in CG, and originally in Japanese and then dubbed. But this is actually a really cool movie. Has a lot of really good voices in the English dub, and it has the voice of Leon, because Leon comes back. However, I'm not 100% sure if the voice of Leon comes back for Resident Evil 6, but I know they just made the second CG movie, and it's out here in the US now, and it doesn't have the original voice of Leon as Leon. But this is a very good movie, and I'd suggest watching it. It's fun. It's actually pretty cool to watch. Then we go on to a very funny show, Robot Chicken. I have the first 4 seasons. Here's Season 1, Season 2, Season 3, and Season 4. This season skips, but it's during a skit that I don't really care about, so it doesn't really bother me. But it's a pretty good show, and it's just basically, it's sketch comedy, but it's based on pop culture. So there's like comic book references, anime references, video game references, TV references, and whatnot. And it's an absolutely phenomenal show. And I need to get Season 5, because that's out on DVD. Hell, Season 6 is probably out by now. But we go on to some more wrestling. That being every Royal Rumble up till 2007. Volume 1, Volume 2, Volume 3, and Volume 4. I'm not going to bother showing you the actual things, but it's literally not just the Royal Rumble matches themselves, it's the entire pay-per-view. So each box set has like 7 DVDs. I actually bought these for fairly cheap. Hey, I still have the receipt in one of these. Wow, I didn't realize Yeah, I bought the Volume 1 for $15. So that's what, 5 DVDs for 20 bucks? That's not bad at all, when most of the DVDs by themselves are roughly 20 bucks. This one, Volume 2 skips a little bit, but I tolerate it just because it doesn't really matter. It's pretty good. Volume 3 is awesome because it's the Attitude Era, and then Volume 4 comes into the PG era, which is still pretty good. Then we go on to more wrestling. This is Satan's Prison, the anthology of the Elimination Chamber. This is basically every Elimination Chamber up till like 2010 or something like that. I think. Let me look. Let me look real quick. Yeah, every Elimination Chamber up till 2010, which there have been more, but this is basically right before it turned into an annual pay-per-view where that's all they did with it. This is back when it was special and stuff, so pretty good, a lot of fun to watch. Then we go on to another really good anime, School Rumble. I have season 1, which has 3 discs, whatever, or more than that. Season 1, and then I also have season 2, and then this extra class OVA that goes in the middle of seasons 1 and 2, which is just, you know, filler, or just random stuff that they do. Very good slice of life anime. Everybody is in love with somebody else in this anime, honestly, so it gets kind of confusing, because this person's in love with this person, but this person's in love with this person, and this person's in love with this person, and blah, blah, blah. But it resolves itself really well at the end. But in order to see the real ending, you have to watch the 3rd season, which is 2 episodes, and was only released in Japan. And it's really good. And I actually, it made me cry at the end. It was great. The end of it. But yeah, that just the English part of it, the first 2 seasons and the extra class are really good, and I'd suggest checking it out. Then we go on to another really good anime, Scrapped Princess. This is basically a story about this girl, her name's Pacifica, sorry. She travels around with these 2 characters as her brother and sister when they're not actually, I think. I don't quite remember. But basically she's the Scrapped Princess who's supposed to end the world, and she doesn't actually. Yeah, it took me forever to get this anime because of how expensive it was on the internet. But I finally picked it up like a year or 2 ago, and I rewatched it, and it's fucking awesome. Very, very good. Definitely suggest watching this one, because it's magic and sword fighting. It's like medieval, but with magic. So, it's pretty good. Then we go on to another Family Guy-based thing that I don't know why I have. I'm probably going to end up getting rid of this and giving it to my friend along with Family Guy. This is Seth MacFarlane's Cavalcade of Cartoon Comedy Uncensored. It's just a bunch of skits with Seth MacFarlane's kind of humor. So there's some funny ones, but, you know, there's better stuff out there, and I'm probably going to get rid of it. This is porn! Then we go on to Simon Pegg, his first big movie, Shaun of the Dead. Very good movie. It's a zombie movie spoof, and it's where the cricket bat became famous, and it's honestly why I think like the cricket bat is in Left 4 Dead 2, which is one of my favorite games. Very good movie. If you're into comedies, go watch this, because there is some really good pop culture references in this movie. Plus there's a scene with Don't Stop Me Now by Queen that is absolutely hilarious. Definitely go check it out. Then we go on to a Nickelodeon movie. Yeah, Nickelodeon channel movie. Shredder Man Rules, featuring Devin Werkheiser. That's my name. Well, first name. The guy from Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide, which was one of my favorite shows as a kid. This is the movie he did, basically, right as Ned's was ending, so he had this whole weekend thing. But it's basically about a kid who's... It's hard to explain, but I found this at a Blockbuster that was going out of business for like a couple bucks, so I picked it up because I didn't expect to ever see this on DVD. It's a cheesy as hell movie, but it's alright, you know. And I got it because, you know, Ned's Declassified. But then we go on to a very influential animated movie series, Shrek. I have the first 2. I do not have 3 or the final chapter. 3 isn't that great, but the final chapter kind of redeemed it. Shrek 1 is amazing, I will admit that, and the special features for this are hilarious. I almost wonder if it has all that extra stuff that were in the original like VHS release, because there's some VHS stuff in the VHS thing. And then Shrek 2 was still pretty good. I didn't quite like it as much as 1, but it's still pretty good. And then, you know, there's 3 that was a piece of crap, and 4 that completely redeemed it. Then we go on to the only James Bond movie I have ever seen, Skyfall. I have it on Blu-ray. It comes in a case, so here's the actual thing itself. This is the very first James Bond movie I ever saw, and I've only seen this one still. I have the rest of them sitting on a hard drive, but so I can watch them. But I went and saw this in theaters. It blew my mind how good this movie was. Oh my god, it actually got me into James Bond, and it's the most recent one. That, and the theme song is sung by Adele, who I cannot stand, but that song is so catchy. Oh my god. Into skyfall, when you crumble, we will stand tall, we'll face it all together at skyfall. I'm done, sorry. Very good movie though. Go check it out. Then we go on to some more Broken Lizard comedy group. This is their most recent movie, The Slammin' Salmon, also in a box. This is basically like a food spoof, or like a restaurant spoofing thing, but it's about the waiters, and they all play waiters. This movie actually has Colby Smulders. I can't remember what she's in, but she became kind of famous after this movie came out. And Michael Clark Duncan plays the manager of the store, and he just died recently, which sucks, because he was freaking awesome. But very good movie. Go check it out. I have their most famous movie here. You'll see it in a little while. Then we go on to a horror movie, and the only horror movie that I have, based on, it was written by an internet, like a famous internet person, but it's pretty good. Smiley. I've heard a lot of really bad things about it, but I've heard some good things. I wanted to check it out because I remember hearing about it, and then I looked at the cover, and if you look on the far left here, it would be far left, far right, excuse me, that's Tobuscus, and he's one of my favorite YouTubers. And they got fucking Shane Dawson here, and he's an asshole, but it's got Tobuscus in it as the most minor character. He's on the back here, which is funny because he plays a really minor character. But it's a great movie. I actually had a lot of fun watching it. Definitely go check it out if you're into horror movies. It's pretty good. Then I go on to South Park. I really like this show, but I only have season 11 on DVD. This is the season with Imagination Land, Guitar Quero, let's see what else is on here. The Fantastic Easter Special, the Tourette's episode, of course, more crap. Yeah, it's got some, this is one of their better seasons. I do need to pick up the rest of the seasons that are out. However, there's probably not going to be like a season 15 because of that stupid 200 thing and the whole whatever. I don't know how to explain it. But then we go on to the original Spider-Man trilogy. Spider-Man, Spider-Man 2 in a box. It's the same thing. And then Spider-Man 3. Very, very good series. These two are phenomenal. The first two. This one is okay. I don't like that they got the guy from that 70s show, Topher Grace, to play Venom, and the way they killed him off. The whole thing with him and Harry, the new Green Goblin, is good though, and Sandman was perfect. But going emo with it was so dumb. But the first two movies are fantastic. I'd suggest checking these out for sure. I haven't seen the Amazing Spider-Man yet, but I want to see it. I actually picked this up at the same time as the Shredder-Man movie at that Blockbuster for a couple bucks. Then we go on to another movie that I picked up at that Blockbuster along with those other two. This is a comedy movie that I really like. It's Step Brothers with Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly. Very good movie. It's about two guys that are in their like 30s who both live with their parents, one with his mom and one with his dad, whose parents end up getting married and they have to become friends, and it's pretty great. Very, very good movie. Very, very funny. Pretty quotable, honestly. Did you put your balls on my drum set? Yeah. But yeah, go check it out, definitely. Then we go on to an anime movie that is actually really good and probably not very well known. Straight Jacket. Another box cover thing that has the same thing. I don't remember. Oh, yeah, that's what it was. I saw this on Sci-Fi because they used to have that channel. It used to have random anime patches, and this was one of them, and I watched it, and I love the movie, and I recognized a lot of the voices. Like, the main character here is played by Steve Bloom, and it's basically the whole Mahora-matic, almost, little get-together, because the other main character is Mahoro, and the other one's Minoa. It's pretty great. A great movie. It's like an alternate universe, where instead of us going towards science, we go towards sorcery and science, so there's like magic, and it gets pretty intense. I'd suggest checking it out, because it's a great movie. Then we go on to one of Will Ferrell's serious movies that is probably one of his best, Stranger Than Fiction. He plays a character who starts hearing a voice in his head, and he comes to realize that he is the character in a book that is being written by a famous author. Not quite, doesn't make quite a lot of sense, but because, you know, where was he before the book was written? Did he exist? It doesn't really explain that, but a very, very good movie because the story is told so well. And Will Ferrell, by God, he may be a really good in comedy movies, but he does a damn good job in this movie. Damn good job. It's probably one of his best movies. Definitely go check it out. If you're not a Will Ferrell fan, honest to God, I'd say watch this if you haven't. It might actually change your mind a little bit. Then we go on to another anime movie based on a video game. Street Fighter 2, the animated feature movie, whatever. In the box, it's a little bit different. That's the actual DVD. Very good movie. I saw it on Netflix at first, and there's some funny differences between this one and Netflix. There is cursing in the Netflix version. This one, there is not. Yeah, it's confusing. But it's basically based on Street Fighter 2, so you got Ryu, Ken, M. Bison, Chun-Li, you know, Vega, and whatnot. Best thing about this movie, Chun-Li's tits. And any Street Fighter fan, that was their dream. But shower scene, oh my god. It's like 92 is when this movie came out originally, or hell no, it wasn't 2006. Had to have been like mid-90s, but, you know, the point is still the same. More porn. This is the first porno I ever bought. Then we go on to the most famous Broken Lizard comedy group movie, by far, Super Troopers. Basically the cop movie spoof. It's absolutely hilarious. Go check it out. It was made in like '02. Definitely go check it out. This is a comedic classic, honestly, from the 2000s. Very, very good. I heard about a year or two ago that they were working on a sequel. I haven't heard anything since then, but I hope for the best because this movie is great. Then we go on to another pretty good anime, that being Suzuka. It's basically a slice of life romantic comedy. The main character, or the girl, is a track star, but there's another guy who's also really good at track. 26 episodes, very good. Actually gets really depressing, like really, really depressing at points. But the ending makes up for it. It's actually really good, and I might have to rewatch this again. Doing these videos has made me want to rewatch a bunch of these. But very good anime, go check it out. Then we go on to probably my honest-to-God favorite Will Ferrell movie, Talladega Nights, The Ballad of Ricky Bobby. I quoted this movie, and I still do, you know, when I first saw this, which was like a year or two after it came out. And this movie came out in '06. Yeah, I've quoted this movie for a very long time. I'm too drunk to taste this chicken. That is one of my favorite lines of all time. And then he names his kids Walker and Texas Ranger. And they're eating Taco Bell and KFC for dinner with a bunch of Mountain Dew. Just, this movie is so quotable. And I don't really like Sacha Baron Cohen. Yeah. I don't really like him, but he's great in this movie. It's also got Michael Clarke Duncan in it. John C. Reilly, Will Ferrell, Amy Adams. It's absolutely great. Go check out this movie. It is amazing. Then we go on to another pretty big, and honestly the last big good series from Disney and their original animation ever. And if you remember back when I was talking about Aladdin, I said there was, or Hercules, I don't remember which one it was one of those two, where I said that there was only one movie that I thought rivaled in music quality that movie, and that being Tarzan. I'm not a huge Phil Collins fan, but by God, he did an amazing job in this movie. Holy crap. Son of Man, Strangers Like Me, You'll Be in My Heart easily is the biggest one. There's one I can't remember. Crap, I can't remember what it is. But You'll Be in My Heart. Yeah, I'm done. This is actually like a special edition with like 2 DVDs. Very good movie. Probably their last really, really, really good movie that was just them, not Pixar, and by their original animation. I also have the sequel, Tarzan 2. Not even close to as good, but it's got George Carlin as a main character in a Disney movie. And right before he died. It came out right before he died, so it's great to see him, you know, again, right before he died. Then I have this. This is Tarzan and Jane. It's kind of a sequel to Tarzan, more than a prequel like Tarzan 2 is. But it's animated differently. It's not that great, but it's okay. It's pretty good, and I think it's more to... It was another one of those make a animated series that didn't really take off too well kind of things. It's okay, but not fantastic. Then we go on to one of my favorite action movies ever, 300. This movie is amazing. Gore, there's fight scenes, there's boobies. It's a great movie, and it's semi-historically accurate because it follows historical stuff. It's not incredibly accurate. The camera work is amazing. It just looks beautiful, and this is why Gerard Butler is famous. This movie, very, very good. Go check it out if you're into these kind of movies. Then we go on to another anime that I'm kind of about, just like Boys Be. That being Two Heart. This is the box set, Volume 1, Volume 2, Volume 3, and Volume 4. Very good anime. It's actually based on a porno game, believe it or not. It's pretty good. It got kind of when I decided to rewatch it. It's okay, and I kind of just watched it in the background while I was doing some stuff when I finally got around to rewatching it. This thing sat on my floor for like 4 years, but it was good to finally get it off the floor and watch it again. It's got some good moments. I'd definitely say to check it out if you're into that. There's actually a sequel series that was never dubbed in English and is only in Japanese, known as Two Heart 2, which is also a porno game. But it's pretty good. I'd suggest giving it a check out, I guess, if you really want to see something like that. Alright, then we go on to... If you remember earlier, I talked about how I've watched all of Daniel Tosh's TV show, Tosh.0, to date. I actually have the first 2 DVDs, Hoodies and Deep V's, which aren't even in order, but these are the first 2 DVDs. This is the first, 7 episodes. Excuse me, 10 episodes, and this is, Season 2. So... It's pretty good. It's just a clip show with internet videos. Very, very good. I'd suggest checking it out because I actually like his brand of humor. My girlfriend doesn't, though. Then we go on to another very, very good anime series. Trigun. I did not get into this that much when I first watched it. And I've only seen it once because I bought it because I knew it had a lot of hype to it and I really wanted to see it. Didn't really live up to it. I admit, thinking back on it after I saw it, how good it really was, and I need to rewatch it again to, you know, maybe get some things that I didn't get the first time. It's one of those, it's a Funimation release, so it's one of the later ones, so it's 4 discs, all 26 episodes. This is one of my girlfriend's favorite animes, and it's a lot of my friends' too, so I need to rewatch it. And, you know, the characters are amazing. Wolfwood, wow. That episode where he dies... Spoilers! Yeah, very, very good. It's about a hitman. Or he's not really a hitman. He kind of just... Yeah, he's got a bounty, but he's not actually a bad guy, and it's crazy. But... Then we go on to another kind of live DVD. Not really. It's called Trans-Siberian Orchestra, The Ghosts of Christmas Eve. This is basically... not really a live performance of their entire first album, but it's like a play kind of thing. It's another DVD that opens like this. Very good. I actually bought this for my grandfather one year for Christmas, and he never watched it, never opened it, so I stole it from him. I like Trans-Siberian Orchestra a lot. Then we go on to Jim Carrey's, one of Jim Carrey's best movies, and it's one of his best serious roles, The Truman Show. He basically plays a guy who, from birth, was shown on TV and doesn't know it, yet everybody else in the show knows it. Even his girlfriend and all that crap. And it gets really great because he finds out that that's what he is, and he tries to get out of it, and he starts going crazy because he isn't sure if that's the case. Oh, and look at that! It's got these things. Very, very good movie. It won him a Golden Globe. Very good movie. Go check this out because it'll change the way you see Jim Carrey, for sure. Then we go on to another wrestling DVD. This is Undertaker 20-0. I'm going to slide it out so you can see. him doing the eyes rolled back and the tongue, and then this silhouette picture on the back is amazing. And then it's silvery on the back. But this is basically all of his WrestleMania wins to date, except CM Punk. Because now he's 21-0. But this is all the way up to the second Triple H, or the third Triple H in him in the Hell in a Cell, which is one of the best matches I've ever seen. All it is him wrestling, all 20 matches. It's pretty good. I love The Undertaker, so that's pretty cool to see. Then we go on to another anime series that's pretty good, that being Vampire Knight. Here's Season 1. The box is a little bit different. And then there's Kaname in the back. Very good anime. It feels like anime Twilight, but a little bit better. I hate Twilight. And then I have the second season, Vampire Knight Guilty. Here's the box with all the characters. There's some plot twists in this second season that completely blew my mind and I did not expect at all. Very good anime, plus Vic Mignogna is a main character, and I met him this last year. Very, very good. Very good anime, definitely. Then we go on to another one of my favorite animes, that being Bandred. One of the only mech animes that I really like, other than Gurren Lagann. I haven't seen Gundam, but it's a Funimation release, so it's 4 discs. Basically, it's about where basically the human race, or races, yeah, us, have been split to a planet that's completely men, and they're partnered together, and then one that's completely women, and it's all confusing, but basically these two meet and fall in love. Very, very good. I'm not going to ruin a whole lot of the spoilers with this, but there's a lot. This is what I call the voice actor palooza for anime. It has just about every famous voice actor that I know of in it. It's phenomenal. Go check it out if you haven't seen it. Then I have a live DVD that I got at SakuraCon this year, Vic Mignogna in concert, and if you open it up, I got it signed by him. Yeah. And it's just a live concert DVD of him doing some of his songs, and it's got a video I've been waiting to see for years. Very good if you like Vic Mignogna. Definitely go get it. Then I have a DVD I got at the gas station I work at, Walk Hard, The Dewey Cox Story. I saw this on Netflix like 2 years ago, loved it. Saw it for very cheap at my gas station. Bought it. It's basically kind of an Elvis spoof, but a little more hardcore. And he basically goes through every really popular genre of music at the time. So it's pretty good. Great comedy movie, though. Definitely go check it out. Then we go on to another Adam Sandler classic, The Waterboy. Very good movie. It's about a guy with a lisp who's kind of dumb and lived a sheltered life that ends up playing football and blah, blah, blah. Ends up being good at it. Great movie. Adam Sandler classic. Not as good as Happy Gilmore, but still very good and has some pretty funny moments. Then, this is my graduation DVD of my graduation ceremony. I actually sat down and watched this in its entirety not too long ago for no reason. But yeah, I have my graduation ceremony on DVD. Then we go on to one of my favorite comedy shows, The Whitest Kids You Know. If you remember my Miss March, that's what this one is. I have the first 3 seasons, Season 1, Season 2, and Season 3. There's 2 more that have never been released. Oh, and look at this. Season 1 has these freaking things. But one of the best comedy shows, I call it South Park live action because it pushes the boundaries. These guys are also heavily influenced by Monty Python. Let me think of a couple sketches for people to look up. Abe Lincoln, Happier and With Your Mouth Open, The Stork Factory, Popcorn Factory sketch. I can't think anymore, but very good show. Definitely go check it out if you're into that kind of stuff. Then we go on to one of a very, very good comic book related animated series, Wolverine and the X-Men. I really like this a lot, and it's great to see it. It's great to see X-Men, and it has Steve Blum as, you know, Wolverine again, just like in X-Men Legends. It's just really good, and it only lasted 1 season. They set it up for a second one, but then Disney bought Marvel, and this was on a Nickelodeon channel, so it never got made after that. Very good animated series, one of my favorite X-Men related things, even more so than the live action movies, I'd say. Very, very good. Then we go on to an anime that I really need to watch again, and I remember quite a bit, or I remember being really, really good. I originally saw this on Comcast On Demand. It's called World of Norway. This box is actually really interesting. It kind of comes out like this, and then opens up like this. But it's 12 episodes. Very good. It's about an alien who lands on Earth, and it's honestly really hard to explain, but it's a slice of life about an alien who lands on Earth and gets a boyfriend. Very good. I definitely suggest checking this one out as well. Then we go on to probably one of the best movies Disney's made in a very long time, Wreck-It Ralph. Video game references out the butt. Very good movie, one of their best movies in a very long time. That's just them. Very, very good movie. And it's video game references, not just character-wise and quote-wise, the way they talk, the things that are said. Amazing. Great movie. Go check it out. Then we go on to the X-Men anime. Steve Blum is Wolverine again. They actually got a lot of the people from Wolverine and the X-Men in this. Basically a 12-episode series that they might make a sequel to. They haven't announced yet. Where it involves the X-Men going to Japan. They introduce Professor X having a kid who's more powerful than him, so it's pretty good. Definitely go check this out if you're into the X-Men and you like anime and Steve Blum and people. Then I have the 3 X-Men movies: X-Men, X2, X-Men United, and X3 Last Stand. X3 is pretty good. X2 and X1, or X-Men and X2 are amazing. No lie, these movies are both very good. They did a lot of justice to the comic books, more so than a lot of comic book movies. It's a very, very, very good movie trilogy. Go check it out if you haven't seen it. Hugh Jackman does a damn good job as Wolverine. Then we go on to some, my childhood a little bit, the Yu-Gi-Oh movie. This is a great movie. I haven't seen it in a very, very long time. But I definitely suggest going and checking it out because it's a very good movie. I still wish I could find the seasons of this show on DVD because I want to watch it again. I mean, I have it on my computer, but I want to actually own a physical copy because this movie is actually pretty damn good. Then we go on to another one of my favorite animes, honestly, and I just rewatched this not too long ago, Yu Yu Hakusho. I have everything related to it in English, except one thing that they never released by Funimation. Here's Season 1. Season 2, signed by Chris Sabat, the voice of Kuwabara. Season 3, Season 4, and this is the Aizo Hakusho OVAs and the first movie that's basically an episode. Basically, just to explain this without ruining a whole lot of, spoilers, or giving a whole lot of spoilers, the main character dies in the first episode, and becomes a spirit detective that captures spirit criminals, and it gets pretty intense, and there's a lot of character development throughout this series. It's like 120 episodes, very good, and when I rewatched it, I was like speechless. I'm like, wow, I don't remember it being this good at all. It's absolutely an amazing series, and that's up there in suggestion. Definitely go check it out if you haven't seen it. Some amazing fighting scenes, some amazing just character development throughout the series. Very, very, very good, and I'd say go check it out. That's the end of part 5 of my DVD collection, Redux. Next episode is going to be DVDs that I have not watched that are sitting on the shelf. It'll be pretty short compared to this one, because this is the longest one to date. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Later. Ooh.